Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest video. Not going to go through a whole heap of transfer news or Chelsea news on this particular video. I'm here to have a candid conversation. I'm here to have a honest conversation with you guys in regards to Victor Osimhen. Now, most of you guys would have seen the latest news, and if you haven't, by some chance, the latest in regards to Victor Osimhen, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's rejected the money from Saudi Arabia. He's rejected the offer from Al Hilal. 850,000 euros, ladies and gentlemen. 850,000 euros per week. This is generational money. This is money that will change not just your life, but your future kids, their kids, and all of their lives for a very, very long time. And I think the contract was for 4 years. You were looking at something around 45 or 43 million euros per year. Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear to see Victor Osimhen, the fact that he's declined this deal to Saudi Arabia. It's not about money. Because if it was about money, he should be jumping on this opportunity pronto. So this is the candid conversation that I want to have with you guys. No need to slander, no need to abuse, no need to name names. Comment sensibly what your thoughts are. You don't need to be, irate. You don't need to be hostile about this, right? Whether you agree or disagree. I want to talk about Victor Osimhen, and I want to talk about why are we doing this? Why is Chelsea Football Club actually doing this and getting this done? Because for me, Victor Osimhen is an entity, a player. I kid you not, I believe this. You get this guy in at Chelsea Football Club, we compete for everything next season. No shadow of a doubt. We compete for the Premier League, we compete for the Champions League. This guy's a monster striker. This guy's an absolute monster striker. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the pros of this. I want to talk about the cons. I want to talk about Maresca's perspective. I want to talk about, Victor Osimhen's circle outside of football. Do they have a bit of a negative, side to all of this situation that's happening? So I want to explore this whole situation, right? I want to explore this entire player and this entire transfer story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first things first. Chelsea Football Club, we were interested in Osimhen last summer. We all know what happened till the end of the transfer window. We were looking to get him. We've been trying our best to get his signature last summer. We also know some of his close people around him, in the likes of John Obi Mikel, saying that Victor Osimhen is just one phone call away. Everything that we've worked on, we can pick up the phone and kick things start again, and we can get this done. Many journalists, top journalists, have always said Chelsea are linked with Osimhen. Right? Not just Osimhen, we're linked with Victor Gyökeres as well. So this whole concept of Chelsea don't want this done. No, Chelsea do like the player. We're in Champions League. We're in, top caliber rated European football competition. We need to be taking things seriously, and someone like Osimhen does that. So we've established the fact that Chelsea want him. Chelsea want him, of course, on our grounds, right? On our grounds. And before we get to on our grounds, let's cover the player. The player for me is phenomenal. He's fast. There's no doubt he'll meet the physicality test in the Premier League. African player, Nigerian. Physicality is second nature. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a talking point. He'll fit in the Premier League like a glove, and he will bully the Premier League defenders. Aerially dominant. Off the ball, works his backside off. On the ball, he's a ruthless machine when it comes to being inside the box and finishing his meal. He's absolutely cleaned it up in the Turkish league. Now, you guys might say, oh, it's the Turkish league, Miz. Come on. He's done it in Serie A as well for Napoli. He's done it in Ligue 1 as well in France for, I believe, Lille. He's scored goals everywhere. It's not like, oh, this is just a one-hit wonder. No. He's a serious level footballer. He'll work hard. He'll chase. He'll press. He's not extremely old at all. I think he's turning 27, maybe max 28. He's at the prime of his game right now. One of the biggest attributes about him is his finishing quality inside the box, whether it's with his head or with his feet. Some of our attacking players will find immense joy having someone like Victor Osimhen. So we've established that this guy is a fantastic player. We've established that. So we're not going to sit here and say, oh, he's not a good player, Miz. He's not going to fit. No, we've established he's a good player. So what's the problem? What's the problem? Now let's talk about some of the problems. Problem number one, obviously financial situation. Now, it's not entirely about money because he's rejected Saudi Arabia, 850,000 per week. So it's not all about money, you know. That we can agree on. It's not all about money. But some levels of it is about money. Obviously, he's not going to come in and try and fit in our 150,000 wage structure. He's not going to do that. He's proven his worth. He's on better money at Napoli. He's currently still a Napoli player. So there is that complexity there where you're going to have to negotiate with Napoli as well, which is a bit of an obstacle on its own. Napoli had a agreement agreed with Al Hilal, that agreed terms and condition, which was, I think, for about 75 million euros. So we'd have to find that deal with Napoli as well. So that's an obstacle. We park that for a side. But you're going to have to give Osimhen a good amount of money. You will. Now, Osimhen's not going to come in for peanuts. You're going to have to give Osimhen in the vicinity of 250,000 per week, 300,000. You know, and I'm not talking about gross. You're talking about like 250,000 net. So gross might be in the vicinity of 350, 400,000 maybe. Right? We still don't know what is the exact figure that he wants. So this is all speculation, by the way. We still don't know. So we do have to keep that in mind. But at least we can say that he's not coming for cheap money. All right? Now, in order to accommodate for this, some people might be like, Miz, we don't want to do that kind of business. We don't want that type of player that's going to want that type of money, because just in case if it falls over, then we're in deep trouble. And where are we going to get the money from? Now, first of all, a few things. Where are we going to get the money from? We have so many unwanted players at Chelsea Football Club: João Felix, Renato Veiga, Christopher Nkunku, and many more. Get rid of all of those wages. Get rid of all of these players and accommodate for someone like Victor Osimhen. We are in Champions League football. What's the aim of a football club, a top football club? To win trophies. The only way you win trophies is with big players, top players. You can't win trophies with kids. Yeah, you might win the Conference League, no problems. When I talk about Champions League football, Premier League, you need lethal weapons. Now, that's about where do we get the money, right? You might question, there's a risk. I don't want to take this risk. I don't want to pay this much money and then this guy becomes a flop. Well, in that case, We're never going to buy a top player. I've got no issues with Delap. I think Delap is a fantastic striker, right? And he's still got a lot to develop. But look at Ekitike, 100 million. I know we're not going to pay that 100 million euros. I know we want something around 60, 65 million, right? But why influx the team with so many players that are developing? I've got no problems with having some developing players, Delap, for example, and then Victor Osimhen next to him. Let Delap learn a little bit from Osimhen. So if we're just going to be scared all the time that, oh, it's what if this flops and then this is another Lukaku situation? Well, it's not like all of our youngsters are working out. We've made mistakes in youngsters as well. I know, okay, I get it. The risk is smaller. You make mistakes with youngsters, the wages are smaller, the risk is smaller. You can flip them for profit. Here, the risk is higher. I get that. But if you don't take this type of risk, then I'm sorry, you're going to find it very difficult to operate as a top club and winning trophies. So there's that, right? Now, the other angle is we don't want to disrupt our wage structure because some of our players are on within that wage structure. And if someone like Osimhen comes in, then it's going to be rattling the current mob. It's going to unsettle the current mob. Once again, we can't think like this. We can't. Now, next season, we want to win the Premier League. No, like we want to compete for the Premier League. We want to try and win Champions League. We can't be looking at doing these sort of things and also thinking, oh, we don't want to disrupt the wage structure because it's going to make other players a bit unhappy. Because if someone like Osimhen comes in and demands X amount of money, 250,000, 300,000, then what about Cole Palmer? He's going to ask for more money. What about Moses Caicedo? What about Enzo? You can't operate like this. So we don't get top players anymore. We have to get juniors, keep getting juniors and build them up. They're never going to win trophies like this. Never. So that's all the financial side of things. Talked about the player, talked about the financial side. Let's talk about Maresca. Does Maresca want Victor Osimhen? Does Maresca want big names? Does Maresca feel having big names could be a bit of an issue, egotistic issues? Does he sort of feel that having younger players, it's easy to manage them, easy to guide them, even though they'll make mistakes, but at least they'll look at him as a father figure? You bring someone a little bit more experienced, they might sort of clash heads with Maresca. Now, if that's how Maresca's thinking, I'm hoping he doesn't think this way, because though there is, proper reports out there that Maresca wants more experience, a little bit more ready-made players this season in the transfer window. We are going for Mike Mignon, goalkeeper. And Mignon's going to be, hopefully we get that done, right? Mignon's going to be someone, he's not going to take bull crap. He's not going to take rubbish. If the manager's talking nonsense, he'll speak up. If anyone's talking nonsense, he will speak up. So even if we explore the idea that maybe Maresca might not want him, stylistically, I can't understand why you wouldn't want him. Is it the attitude? Is that why you might not want him? But you're a manager. You need to be able to work with almost all types of people. You need to be able to, control all different types of characteristics. So Enzo Maresca's perspective, I don't know. I don't know whether it's a question mark, whether he wants him or not. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe he wants players like Delap. Maybe he wants players like Ekitike, more sort of younger players that he can mold into superstars. But at the same time, I don't feel like Maresca comes across an individual that is scared about big characters. And Osimhen is a big character. Now, this is the other point. Are we not getting someone like Osimhen anymore? Because mind you, if you guys remember, we were trying to get him last summer. Are we not trying to get him now because maybe his attitude? Is he too much of a character? Is he too outspoken? Is his people outside of football too outspoken? Can he be a bit, aggressive at times? Can he be a bit arrogant at times? Is that a problem? Like he seems like sometimes he could be a bit of a loose cannon. Are all of these a factor? And if they are a factor, they weren't a factor last summer. And surely over the last 12 months, it's not like Victor Osimhen's just picked up all of this stuff. In fact, if anything, I don't think he had that much issues at Galatasaray, They loved him. They still love him. They want him still, in fact. But I feel Victor Osimhen, I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like he is waiting for Chelsea. He wants Chelsea Football Club. But at the same time, he doesn't want to get fleeced. He doesn't want to get done. He wants to come to Chelsea not having everything his way, but at least us meeting him halfway. And it's the kind of player that you want to meet halfway with at least. You're going to get goals. You're going to get leadership. You're going to get a big character in the team. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Me personally, I get this done, and I think he's going to be beneficial to the entire group. I do see the other side of the coin here. There is the financial implication, but I think more than financial is it the fact that we don't want to disrupt our current environment that we have with a whole heap of ex-Manchester City Academy players. Manager that wants to sort of be a father figure to these players and don't want characters that are a little bit older and a little bit hard to control at times. I don't know. But one thing's for certain, I feel, is you get someone like Osimhen, you compete in all fronts. You compete in all fronts. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. I'd get this deal done. I would love Chelsea to get this deal done. Whether it happens or not, we shall see. Osimhen clearly not going to Saudi Arabia. He wants to stay, looks like, in Europe. And he seems like he's ambitious. He wants to do something in Europe. He wants to make a mark. And he feels like with Chelsea, I think he really wants us, that he can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Candid conversation. No need to harass. No need to go over the top with the comments. Let's have a nice, peaceful conversation. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.